This is the 10th Fotograf festival, 10th anniversary, and we were like a curators trio. Me, Stefanie Kivit, and Anna Voswinkel. My name is Teresa Rudolf.
Together as a team of three, we decided on this topic, uneven ground, nerovný terén, which is addressing the ground we are standing on. Actually, I mean, we are on uneven ground. We have to get along together, and it's the uneven ground is where we encounter each other, which is still necessary, even as it's a bit challenging at the moment. But the encounter is also a very typical motive of photography. Photography needs the encounter. So uneven ground also refers to the encounter between the photographer and the photographed subject and what happens in this encounter. So all of these 8 exhibitions put a focus on different aspects of this encounter, actually.
My name is Stefanie Kivit, and this year I'm co-curating together with Teresa Rudolf and Anna Voswinkel. This exhibition here is Vast Terrain, Shifting Perspective, Vast Perspective, Shifting Terrain. In this exhibition we especially address the question on ways of working with documentary photography. So all these artists, or most of them, they go out and observe their surrounding.
So maybe most radical approach is the one by Lina Zacha with her video work Fonia, because here she gave camera to other people and actually just explained them how to use it and then helped them with recut. But basically this is somehow like a delegation of her role.
Tsy niverina hatramin'ny intsony. Ary ny tantarako dia azo atao hoe tontolo mampalahelo nefa tontolo mahafinaritra raha mivavaka ao. Dia izay ilay tantara izay.
For example, Susanne Keichel, she observes in her living environment in Dresden the problematic of refugees, and she's doing this since already 2009 until now. It's an ongoing project.
Another important topic for us was gaze, so observing the other. This was mainly a topic of an exhibition called My Gaze, Your Image, My Image, Your Gaze, that we opened in Karlin Studios. And for this exhibition, we've selected works that were dealing with foreigner gaze, either photographer or the photographed, so the object or the subject. The question was if there is a chance for them to meet on a certain level. Yeah, so the video by Shelley Silver, it's called What I'm Looking For, and it's from 2006, if I'm not mistaken. And the project is based on her observation of strangers, but also on advertisement she made, which was advertisement that goes public on internet. And she asked strangers to get in touch with her if they want to show her something personal or strange in public space. The thing she is dealing with there is like that also public space is getting to be quite alienated from people, also taken by corporations, by CCTV and all this big brother thing, and she somehow wanted to get some sort of intimacy out. So, and this video is a cut of scenes where they are showing her something private or telling very private stories. But also her language is interesting because the montage and cuts are very sharp and they are working with a long gaze or then sequence of pictures. And it's all together again with overlayering of titles and text. So again, a kind of montage.
Sofitun is an young Austrian artist who often works, or mostly works site-specific, and she used to be a lab assistant, so she's working very much with photo laboratory technique, and she does a lot of photograms, like life-size photograms. This technique she uses very much on site. So she did a site-specific work at Strossova Gallery. There are two site-specific works actually. One is on the entrance door, and one is another door inside the space where she's posing. And she's using her body very much as a medium, as an artistic medium. And in that way, we've found it interesting, we as curators, to combine her work with works of Birgit Jürgensen, who's an already deceased Austrian artist who also worked very much engaging her body in her work. And both artists somehow also deal with the role of the woman and women artists. So we found this combination interesting, and also Sofitun liked this concept very much.
And as we spoke about uneven ground, what was important for us was the place or space where people are actually meeting or can meet, where this encounter can actually happen. So this was the main subject for the exhibition: designing places, naming history, naming places, designing history, because there we really focused on the public space or different public spaces that sort of observe also the places in a different time and different regime, like socialism, capitalism, a previous regime in GDR, or nowadays liberal capitalism in the United States. So the question of this exhibition was, if we can meet, if we can encounter the other, so on what condition and how are these conditions actually dictated from outside? In a particular way, the exhibition that opened at Fotograf Gallery, which name was Social Body, Fluid Order, Fluid Body, Social Order. This exhibition also, because of its focus on body and a human body as something very personal and at the same time very alienated from us, was somehow a core exhibition in a metaphorical sense, because here we were looking for either visible or invisible ties in between society or in between individuals, and how these ties, bonds or boundaries can be actually visualized.
It's also very much about the aspect of separation and being connected. I mean, this kind of binary relationship between connectedness and difference.
We try to focus on intimate relationships between humans, such as love or hatred or desire. So this was the main topics for the exhibition in the Garage Gallery, named Corporally Closed, Spiritually Distant, Spiritually Close, Corporally Distant, that featured several videos and photographs, but these works sort of met in a boundary where our expectation about what is actually love or what is some strong feeling in a relationship, and what is the expectation that is pre-modeled for us by movie industry. So like, what is the personal way of feeling and expressing this feeling, and what is the expected way of visualizing or expressing these feelings.
The exhibition Significant Other, Unknown Place, Unknown Other, Significant Place is based on a long-term collaboration between photography students of FAMU Prague and HBK Braunschweig. Last year, the group met for the first time in Prague in the framework of a workshop with us 3 curators of Fotograf Festival. The working title then was You, the Other I. And we encouraged the students to reflect on the other, the counterpart within photography and video art, and compare it with notions of self-perception and exchange in the public sphere, which got even more relevant during this year's pandemic. The works presented at Galerie Jeleni, they all deal with this friction and negotiate ways of looking at each other free from an exoticizing gaze.
We were happy to still have the possibility to have this performance of Sabine Reinfeld on Saturday, which was the last possible time to do it. And it's also recorded, it has been recorded, so it's available still. And I also find it interesting for the festival because it's also an encounter of a younger artist with an already deceased artist, Josef Sudek. I'm happy that this could take place.
There is usually a quite living program accompanying the exhibitions. This was also planned this year, and our idea was to make like talks, because as I said, we have a group exhibition, so to bring several artists from each exhibition and focus this talk on some particular topic, like for example portrait or this designing places, also like public space discussion. So this kind of happened online actually. We also had planned lectures, for example, by Shelley Silver. That's one of our maybe also key authors of the festival, because she is represented with different works in different exhibitions or several exhibitions. So we had the screening of her work in Ponrepo, and then also talk or another thing like student portfolio reviews. I guess that's make festival actually kind of normally.